In the sprawling cosmos of DC Comics, time travel has often been a playground of paradoxes, possibilities, and pulse-pounding peril. Nowhere is that more dramatically demonstrated than in Armageddon 2001, a crossover event that hit comic book shelves in the summer of 1991. This storyline, spread across annual issues of nearly every DC title that year, delivered a time-spanning mystery full of tension, betrayal, and heartbreak. It remains one of the most ambitious and controversial sagas DC ever published, and not necessarily for all the right reasons. Armageddon 2001 begins in a dystopian future ruled by a tyrannical, godlike despot named Monarch. Once a beloved hero, Monarch turned evil, crushed the world under his iron fist, and eradicated nearly every other superhero from existence. The twist? Monarch was originally one of Earth's greatest heroes, corrupted by power and fear. But which one? That's the hook that drove this story forward. Enter Matthew Ryder, a brilliant scientist obsessed with preventing Monarch's rise. He undergoes an experiment to travel back in time and stop Monarch's origin before it ever begins. When the experiment succeeds, he's transformed into the temporal hero Wave Rider. Wave Rider becomes the linchpin of Armageddon 2001. He uses his powers to view potential futures by touching heroes and witnessing what lies ahead for them. Over the course of the crossover, he examines the possible destinies of Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Captain Atom, and many more, all in an effort to find out which one becomes Monarch. These future visions allowed DC to explore wild what-if scenarios, some tragic, some hopeful, some downright bizarre. It was a fascinating meta-narrative that blended superhero action with science fiction philosophy, as Wave Rider peered into dozens of alternate futures to identify the threat lurking within one of DC's own. The story built suspense with each annual, narrowing down suspects and layering tension with every revelation. The creative teams, ranging from iconic names like Dan Jurgens and George Perez to then rising talents, wove a complex web of clues. All signs pointed to Captain Atom being the future Monarch, a twist that, while telegraphed, made thematic sense. Atom's military background, his struggles with authority, and his internal conflicts all made him a credible candidate to fall from grace. But at the last moment, DC changed their minds. In a now infamous editorial swerve, DC scrapped the Captain Atom reveal after leaks hit the fandom, opting instead to unmask Hawk, of Hawk and Dove, as Monarch. The problem? Nothing in the previous issues supported this. In fact, Wave Rider had already examined Hawk's future and cleared him. The twist not only felt forced, it unraveled the story's carefully constructed logic. Readers were left confused and disappointed. Dove, Hawk's pacifist partner, was killed in the final battle, and Hawk was transformed into Monarch seemingly overnight, robbing the narrative of its emotional payoff and coherence. Despite the controversial ending, Armageddon 2001 has endured as a cult favorite. Its core concept, what happens when a hero becomes the world's greatest villain, would inspire future tales like Injustice and Kingdom Come. Wave Rider would go on to appear in later DC stories, especially ones dealing with time travel. And Monarch himself would return in various forms over the years, most notably during Countdown and 0 Hour. What makes Armageddon 2001 fascinating, even decades later, is its daring. It tried to tell a story that questioned heroism itself. It invited readers to ponder fate versus choice, and the terrifying idea that the greatest threat to humanity might not be an alien invader or a mad scientist, but one of the people we trust the most. For all its missteps, the story succeeded in asking a question that still echoes in the DC universe. What would it take for a hero to break? Another masterful entry. Your voice cuts through the nostalgia with clarity and depth. You're building